Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Tiffin, and this is a new YouTube channel that I'm doing. Just wanted to discuss from the left-handed side of the lanes. I'm an average league bowler, uh, bowl a couple times a week, a few tournaments here and there. But I wanted to talk about bowling from the left-handed side. I'm a high-speed, lower rev player. Typical left-hander likes playing up the 5, 6, 7 board. But just want to do for my first video just a league review. Hopefully you enjoy this, and let's get into it. So I recently purchased these 3 balls: Brunswick Mesmerize, Black Widow Mania, and the Radical SnapShot. First game, 13-14 frames, I used the Brunswick Mesmerize. The first game I shot a 221 with 3 opens, 2 of the just bad spare shooting. I left a baby split, the 2 and the 7, and then the 2-4-7 I left twice and chopped it both times. So anyways, first game, first thoughts of the Mesmerize. It's great. It needs a lot of oil. When I hit the dry spot, it was way too strong and went through the face those 3 times. So 221 with the 3 airs easily could have been a good game. But when I hit the pocket, it hit the pocket, and it was 10 back. It was no doubt about it. This ball I used beginning the second game, about 3rd frame of the second game. And I left a flat 10 with this, or flat 7 with this, and that's when I decided I was going to switch it up and use the Black Widow Mania. My go-to ball for the last year, or about 7 months, has been the Black Widow 3.0, which I bought, I believe, in February of last year, and didn't even use it except for a game or 2 up until about May or June. And then the Radical, I only threw 1 shot with it, but we'll talk a little bit about what I saw in that 1 shot. So second game, I shot a 246. Loved it. Typical Black Widow. I was kind of knew what to expect, knew it was going to have a lot of back end. As you notice, this ball is not as shiny as it comes out of the box. It comes polished. It's a HK22 Cohesion Pearl. And for me, because of my speed, I always normally bring everything down. This is 1500, just so that it gives me a little bit extra, because Black Widows, if you love them or hate them, you'll know they're very speed dominant. So being that I've been bowling with the Black Widow 3.0, I figured I would be able to adjust to this one a lot quicker than either of these 2. The Radical, super symmetrical. And according to Brunswick and Phil Cardinelli on their Radical podcast, this ball is a super symmetrical, which is supposed to blend the line between asymmetrical and symmetrical. I had initially thought about getting this to replace the other symmetrical ball that is normally my go-to when the Black Widow 3.0 would start to leave me a lot of corners, or I would leave a pocket split. Whenever I do that, I always know it's a ball change, and I go to a symmetrical that I enjoy. The current symmetrical that I have that I really enjoy is the old ball. It's the Brunswick Knockout, the blue one, the second version. I had great success with the original Knockout, and so the blue Knockout I had for a long time, never used it because I love the original Knockout so much. So I bought this one thinking that it might be a replacement or an in-between between my asymmetrical and my symmetrical. I am planning on adding a 4th and maybe a 5th one. The one I'm planning on adding almost immediately is going to be the Track Stealth Hybrid, which I'm hoping will be more in line with, it will be the replacement for my Knockout. The Hypnotized I'm hoping will be somewhere in between, or watching Create the Difference with, I forget what his name is, Ron Hicklin. Seeing him throw it left-handed, the Hypnotized, he makes it look great on the left side, and seeing videos from it from the right side, depending on how people bowl, it's going to be one of those that, as a left-hander, there's not many videos out there. That's why I decided to create this channel. So I'm hoping that the Hypnotize, will come be a ball down from this, which is what it's supposed to do, and I'll see where it fits in between these 2. But right now, I would say my Black Widow is going to fit right in between the Mesmerize and the Black Widow Mania. Black Widow Mania, the second game, did exactly what I wanted it to do. It goes down, makes a hard right turn, a lot of good skid. The other ball I have that I really enjoy, which I'll talk about later, is a track theorem, but it's just too much back in for the lanes that I bowl on. So I wanted something that wasn't as strong as the track theorem. So that's why I thought the Black Widow Mania might be good. And since I'm used to the Black Widow line, knowing that it's very speed controlled, I thought this would be a perfect fit for me. It was a no-brainer. This was the easiest decision. This one was a wild card. It's a newer type of ball, the super symmetrical. So I wanted to give them a shot. I've had great success with the Rattler, which I normally use when it's hooking. For me, it works best when even my knockout might burn up the mid lane too much. So I'll go to the Rattler, which kind of seems to be more controllable for me. So that's why I chose the 3 that I did, knowing that I was going to add the track stealth hybrid to hopefully replace that knockout. So anyways, I used the Radical SnapShot, only 1 shot, and it looked great. I threw it exactly. I stood the same spot as I would stand with the Black Widow. And for me, it did look more like it was a mix between what I expected my knockout to do, which starts moving. You can see it start hooking pretty much the entire way, just a nice smooth hook. This one kind of was in between. It wanted to skid, and then it started rolling earlier than this one. And then it had that nice back end that this ball is supposed to have. So I'm looking forward to getting some practice in with this ball, and which I do my practice normally on Thursdays, 5-6 games. But I just took these both down to 1500. It's kind of my go-to grit that I find is a good grit for me. Sometimes I'll bring stuff down to 1000, and depending on where I'm bowling, I have some other equipment that I'll bring down to about 500 if I think it's going to hook a lot, or if I need the extra movement, the extra traction. So anyways, ended with a 205 using this one. I did miss a 7-pin. I'm about a 90% on the corner pin, the 7-pin, and about 85 with multi-pin spares. So that's kind of where I'm at with my spare game, which obviously needs to improve. But 90%, 92, 93, depends on, I have my stretches where I'm hitting 95 to 98% of my 7 pins. Then I have other times where I'm 70 to 80%. So I go through streaks with that 7-pin, which I know is a common theme with a lot of left-handed and right-handed bowlers. So just wanted to show you guys these 3 balls. This is my first video. Obviously, you can tell it's not really a professional setup, but this is not my full-time job. I am a police officer, so I do work a lot, but I do, my passion for bowling is so strong. You will notice I primarily am with the Brunswick line, not because I refuse to go with any other line, but because in bowling, I'm 45, and since I've been bowling since I was about 10, we'll go into my history of bowling later. There were at times where Storm was great for me, for my game, and then for the past 15 years, I've used primarily Brunswick line of balls. I did purchase a couple Roto Grip balls, Storm, and Motive. So I've had balls from all the companies, and I can talk about that later on. I had a stretch with Motive when they had the Primal, the original red ball, which was, you'll see, was, and no joke about it, it's going to be in my top 10 of bowling balls of all time, which that'll be another video as well. But just wanted to kind of show you these 3 balls, give you my brief perspective. I will give a league review pretty much every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and then we'll talk about some other stuff as well. On this channel, you can expect to learn about stuff for me. I will show you guys the way I bowl on the lane video, and then we'll talk about some unique tournaments that I bowl. As a police officer, we have specific tournaments that a lot of people don't know about that are strictly for fire, law enforcement, EMTs, very similar to like the high roller military tournaments. And so this is the first video of many to come. I hope you liked it. Subscribe, please. Tell your friends about it. It's a different perspective. I'll talk about in future videos. I plan on talking about my top 10 YouTube channels that I follow. why I like them. And it's a wide variety, from podcasts to demonstration to, just straight bowling. Because as a bowling enthusiast, you have to watch a variety of things and obviously be realistic with where you're at in your game, know your game, and where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. For me, my weakness, I might not have the highest rev rate, but my accuracy is where I feel is my strong point as far as when it comes to being able to hit my target, hitting my target, especially with my strike ball, which has allowed me to do well at the nationals. And we'll talk about those tournaments. We'll talk about the United States Police and Fire Championships, which is a very Olympic-based. They follow the same rules of Olympic organizations with numerous sports, but the one difference is it does include bowling in these games, and those are some of the most well-attended events that we have, with your regionals, with guys who are on staff, just with all sorts of different types of bowlers, and so we'll get into that. So this year, just for things to come, I do have 3 major tournaments for me, and some smaller local 5-gamer, 6-gamer tournaments that there are on sport conditions. My league I bowl in now is a house shot. So a lot of my league, obviously my league review will be on house shots, but I do, once my tournaments get closer, you'll see me talk about those local 5-gamers that I'll participate in, or 6-gamers, whatever they end up being. So I am based out of Southern California. So that's pretty much getting back to the tournaments that I will be doing this year is the United States Police and Fire Championships, the World Police and Fire Games, which only happen every 3 years. This year it's in Alabama. So we will be heading out there, and I'll be doing videos on that. And then also the Nevada Police and Fire Games, which is, besides the World Police and Fire Games, is the largest tournament I bowl, with about 200 bowlers that participate in that event. World Police and Fire Games is people from all over. Mexico, Malaysia normally brings 8 to 12 people. 4-man team event, 5 games, 1 day. Next day is doubles, 5 games, and the last day is singles. And then they do an all events category as well. So we'll get into talking about tournaments later, but those are some things to come. I'll do top 10 bowling balls that I've thrown over my lifetime, my bowling experience since I have been bowling from 10, the coaches I've had, the things I've done in my career, the path from college to bowling the TATs, to having my PBA card, and what I used that PBA card for initially when I got it. Like I said, I don't bowl enough to bowl the main tournaments or try to even bowl those tournaments. I could bowl occasionally regionals, but it just hasn't worked out for me. So we'll go into things, the reason why I got my PBA card, which was about 15 years ago, and why I had it. I no longer am up to date. You will still find my profile on there. There's no picture, there's no stats, there's nothing, but it's under Jeff Tiffin if you want to look that up. I have done some of the courses for USB, just the level 1, so the very basic one. So I did do some coaching at some point, and we'll get into my style of coaching and just helping out. The league I bowl in there's a lot of seniors, younger people who are just starting, and then your accomplished bowlers. So we'll talk about that. The other thing we'll talk about is being at a house or an area where the pro shop is a storm staff, and being able to use YouTube to find balls that I want, my layout, that kind of stuff. So a lot of good stuff to come. Please continue to stay. Obviously, I will try and release at least 1 video a week. So be looking for that. Subscribe. I know it's a new channel. It's hard to get followers right away. So pass the word or let people know if you do enjoy my video. So we'll be talking about a bunch of different stuff. I have a list of things that I want to talk about, and hopefully you enjoy it. I'm not going to badmouth anybody. I'll keep it clean, but I will be honest. So when it comes to YouTubers, when it comes to the balls that I do buy, because there are some balls that I bought from the Brunswick family and from others that I thought were great, and some that I didn't like, some that just didn't work for me. But I do that because as a lefty, as you know, we are criticized a lot for it being too easy, and we'll get into that a little bit, and how to, you know, I'm one of those people, I don't let that kind of stuff bother me. I worry about my game and being the best bowler I can. This is one of my passions. It's my relief, my main hobby that I do. So I love bowling, and hopefully I can pass some of that passion on to you guys. And please, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to point you in a direction that you might want to go, and we'll go from there. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I will ramble a little bit, but please like and subscribe, and look forward to seeing all you guys in the future, and hopefully gaining our following, and be able to share information and help others out. Right or left-handed, this is going to be neutral. This is going to be mainly for the house, for a league bowler that just wants to get better in their house, in their league. And we'll talk about the realities of my perspective, mainly that I gained from when I bowled in college briefly, about the realities of the pro tour and the skill that is on that pro tour, which is, you know, mind-boggling how good those guys are. So it's a realistic channel, and look forward to seeing you guys in my next videos. Thank you.